The sixth knowledge area in PMBOK is Project Human Resource Management, which includes the processes that organize, manage, and lead the project team. To perform the project work within the project scope, you need human resources. That is people, our most important assets, who need to be managed. The knowledge used to manage human resources is called Human Resource Management. This knowledge area addresses the essential staffing and leadership issues for the project team, as well as includes the processes required to make the most effective use of the people involved with the project. These four processes include plan human resource management, acquire project team, develop project team, and manage project team. Plan human resource management is the process of identifying and documenting project roles, responsibilities, and required skills, reporting relationships, and creating a staffing management plan. The inputs for this process are the following: project management plan, activity resource requirements, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets. Note that the activity resource requirements from the time management knowledge area are an input here and will provide you with the staffing requirements for the project. The tools and techniques for the plan human resource management process are listed here: organization charts and position descriptions, networking, organizational theory, expert judgment, and meetings. I'd like us to look a little bit deeper into these first two. During the plan human resource management process, we can use organizational charts and position descriptions to document team members' roles and responsibilities and reporting relationships. The format of these charts can fall into three categories: hierarchical, matrix, or text-oriented. Hierarchical type charts include WBS, work breakdown structures, OBS, organizational breakdown structures, and RBS, resource breakdown structures. As far as the matrix-based chart goes, we often use RAM charts to develop HR plans, which stands for Responsibility Assignment Matrix Chart. These show project roles and responsibilities. When working on projects, it is rare that everyone on the team has a clear understanding of who is responsible for what. One widely used type of this RAM chart is called a RACI chart, which you can see here. RACI charts are a simple way to clarify roles and responsibilities, and it really helps ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. RACI charts also eliminate duplicative efforts and confusion by assigning clear ownership for each task. The RACI is a powerful tool utilized to define roles and responsibilities. In general, you match up roles and responsibilities with processes. Let's first look at what a RACI stands for. RACI stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consult, and Inform. Let's start with the first one, R, for responsible. The buck stops here. Whoever is responsible needs to make sure that the process works as planned. The R owns the process, problem, or project. A, for accountable. This is the person who has delegated the task of completing the activity. They support the person who owns the process, problem, or project. In other words, they support the R. C, for consult. This person usually has in-depth knowledge of the process in question, and all major decisions need to be signed off by this individual. I, for inform. This is the person that needs to be informed of the activity taken, but not necessarily consulted. Okay, let's consider a quick example of a project where you own a small production facility in Colorado and are now resurfacing the entire parking lot due to heavy rains and snow. Another tool and technique is networking, which means interacting on a formal or informal basis with other people in an organization, industry, or professional environment. It's a great way to understand the political and interpersonal factors that will impact the effectiveness of various staffing management options. It's best to think of this as knowledge networking, where we reach out beyond the project itself to gather information about people and expertise, share and take ideas on best practices for hiring and recruiting, as well as gather ideas on how to enhance our professional development efforts on this project and beyond. Our output for the plan process is the Human Resource Management Plan, which is part of the overall project management plan and provides guidance on how project human resources should be defined, staffed, managed, and eventually released. This includes the Staffing Management Plan, which describes when and how human resource requirements will be met. Acquire project team is the second process in the human resource knowledge area. It is the process of confirming human resource availability and obtaining the team necessary to complete project assignments. The key benefit to this process is obtaining a successful team through outlining and guiding the team selection and responsibility assignments. You can see the ITTOs for this process here. The input is, of course, the project management plan. And these are the key tools and techniques for this process. The first is pre-assignment. This is when project team members are selected in advance. The second is negotiation. This is when the project management team negotiates the staff assignments. For instance, the team might negotiate with functional managers or other project management teams to ensure that appropriate, competent staff members are organized and available for the project's time frame. These staff negotiations can happen at many levels and could include internal meetings, as well as external communications with vendors, suppliers, etc. And finally, acquisition. When the performing organization is unable to provide the staff needed to complete a project, the required services may be acquired from outside sources, such as hiring outside consultants or subcontracting work to another organization. The Acquire Project Team process outputs are as follows. Project staff assignments. So we can say that the project is staffed when the appropriate people have been assigned to the team. The documentation of these assignments could come in a number of ways, a team directory, team memos, etc. Resource calendars. These calendars document the time periods during which each project team member is available to work on the project. And we, of course, need to make updates to the project management plan once we have all of these details. Develop project team is the process of improving the competencies, team interaction, and the overall team environment to enhance project performance. So, after acquiring the project team, the project manager might have to develop that team. The inputs are the project staff assignments, the project management plan, and resource calendars, all of which we learned about in the preceding video. Now, the tools and techniques needed by the project manager to develop the team are as follows. Number 1, good interpersonal skills. He or she must be able to relate well to people. The second, training, which can be formal or informal, but it includes all activities designed to enhance the competencies of project team members. Third, team building activities are a great way to develop a team, and these can vary from a 5-minute agenda item in a status review meeting to an off-site, perhaps professionally facilitated experience designed to improve interpersonal relationships. The Tuckman ladder is one popular model used to describe team development. It goes like this. Forming. Team meets and learns their roles and responsibilities and agrees on goals. Storming. Teams start working on the project and competition may result from different individual ideas. I am right mentality. Norming. Team members adjust their behavior to work as a team and they learn to trust each other. We can work together mentality. Performing. Teams are able to function as an organized and interdependent unit as they find ways to get the job done smoothly and effectively. Adjourning. Completing the task and moving on from the project as staff are released during project or phase closure. Please note that it is possible for teams to skip a stage or get stuck in or revert to a prior stage. For example, there may be a change in leadership on the project and the team may revert to the storming stage as they challenge new ideas, new approaches, and a new set of expectations is laid out. Essentially, though, Tuckman believed that these stages are normal and important in order for teams to develop and grow, tackle problems, work through challenges, and ultimately to successfully deliver results. And finally, number 4 on our list of the project manager's key tools and techniques for developing the project team is ground rules. These establish clear expectations regarding acceptable behavior by project team members. Early commitment to clear guidelines decreases the number of misunderstandings that occur and, of course, increases productivity. The key output of the developed project team process is team performance assessments. As the various project team development efforts, such as training and team building, are implemented, the project management team makes either a formal or an informal assessment of the project team's effectiveness and gauges how the team is performing as a whole. The fourth and final process in the project human resource management knowledge area is manage project team, which is the process of tracking team member performance, providing feedback, resolving issues, and managing changes to optimize project performance. This process is beneficial mostly because it influences team behavior, manages conflict, resolves issues, appraises team member performance, and coordinates changes to enhance project performance. I have charted out for you here all of the ITTOs, but I'm going to walk through some of the key ones. The key inputs are project staff assignments. Again, this will provide a quick list of the project team members. Project management plan, specifically the human resource plan that provides guidance on how project human resources will be handled on the project, including our training strategy and how we will incentivize and motivate people. Team performance assessments, an output of the prior process. The project management team will continue to make assessments of the project team's performance on the project. And finally, performance reports, any and all documentation about how the project is doing, in other words, current versus planned. This should help guide and drive efforts to determine future human resource requirements and reward and recognition plans on the project. The following are the tools and techniques for the managed project team process. 1. Observation and conversation are used to stay in touch with the work and attitudes of project team members. By observation, I mean watching team members in action during team meetings, or on the job by conversation, in other words, taking the time to meet with team members in meetings or on a one-on-one basis. Asking questions, probing and letting them provide feedback and ideas to help move the project along. Spend some time listening to those around you. Project performance appraisals. The need for formal or informal project appraisals depends on the length and complexity of the project, the organizational policy, the labor contract requirements, and the amount and quality of regular communication. A performance appraisal can help discover unknown or unresolved issues and the establishment of specific goals for the future. Conflict management. This is a major one because conflict is almost inevitable on a project. There are 5 general techniques for resolving conflict. Each one has its own place, so these are in no particular order. Collaborate and problem solve. The best way to resolve a conflict is to face the conflict directly, and this involves a problem-solving approach in which the affected parties work through their disagreements. We call this a win-win. This is the most preferred method. Withdraw and avoid. What we call a lose-leave is when someone retreats or withdraws from a potential disagreement. This happens sometimes, for example, if someone doesn't have all the information or if things are about to get out of hand. Note that this is a temporary measure and is the least preferred method. It simply says this isn't the right time or the place to address this issue, so there are no winners and no losers. Smooth accommodate. This is a technique we use to de-emphasize or avoid areas of difference and instead emphasize areas of agreement. We also call this lose-yield. In other words, I lose, you win. Force and direct. If you have the authority and you need to settle conflicts quickly, you can also exert your viewpoint at the expense of the viewpoints of others. This forcing is often characterized by competitiveness and a win-lose situation. It's my way or the highway. Compromise and reconcile. At times, there is bargaining and searching for solutions that bring some degree of satisfaction, temporarily or partially, to all the parties in a dispute. This requires a give-and-take attitude and refer to it as a lose-lose scenario. When we compromise, we both lose or compromise a little because each side has to give up something. Thus, you bend and I bend. When managing conflicts, you should be aware that the highest intensity of conflicts occurs over schedules, while the lowest intensity of conflicts occurs over cost. Next, interpersonal skills. Project managers use a combination of technical, personal, and conceptual skills to analyze situations and interact appropriately with team members. Using appropriate interpersonal skills allows project managers to capitalize on the strengths of all team members. So with all those and more tools and techniques, our outputs are, as usual, mostly document and plan updates. A key output is change requests. Staffing changes, whether by choice or by unforeseeable events, can affect the rest of the project management plan. If staffing issues are causing major alterations to the project management plan, for instance, because of scheduling or budgeting conflicts, a change request can be processed through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. This could mean moving people to different assignments, outsourcing some of the work, and replacing team members who have left the project. And that concludes this module on the Project Human Resource Management knowledge area of PMBOK 5. I hope you realize just how important it is to select, develop, and manage a team. Without people, there can be no projects, so we have to take care of our most important assets, people, if we want to deliver good results. I hope you've enjoyed this module, and I'll see you in the next video to discuss communications. Thanks for watching.